Kamp. We're back. We got a very, very special guest today, Ryan.
Dude, that's the second episode in a row where you say Kamp. And
it's my new thing.
Your new catchphrase.
It's my new thing.
It's my new thing, about it in the car, huh?
It's my new thing. I think we're going to get t-shirts made that say Kamp.
Camp. And if we need any shirts made, who are we going to call? We have a very special guest today. We got Mike Spank from State 48.
Yeah.
State 48 Clothing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Clothing brand. So it's an honor to be here, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. If you're in Arizona, you probably know what's up and you have heard of State 48.
You've seen the stickers. You've seen the shirts.
And
you guys were like got to be the biggest of like any type of Arizona apparel, right?
Yeah, and we take a lot of pride in that. We started in 2013 and, we're just getting started. But yeah, t-shirts, hats. I mean, we have a very extensive business now with the foundation and the B2B side of the part of it. So we really are like that one-stop shop for all apparel and design.
Yeah, for sure, dude. So, I mean, obviously like the fans that are listening that are from Arizona probably are already aware of State 48, but for someone that like maybe isn't from Arizona, could you like quickly explain what it is?
Absolutely. And I still feel like a lot of people don't know who we are.
Exactly.
So I'm grateful for the opportunity to plug it. But yeah, I mean, I was born and raised in Chandler, which was cool for us to connect on that. And, I've always loved clothes. Like probably my favorite thing about school was back to school shopping. I've always, wanted to create something to represent Arizona in a positive and fashionable way. And, growing up here, going to Cardinal games at Sun Devil Stadium, and just there was no sense of pride. First Fridays when it was a dirt lot, no one gave a shit about it. Right?
Yeah, dude.
And I'm like, I genuinely care about Arizona. I got every Arizona tattoo there is. And, two buddies and I, we just created State 48 in 2013, and we're slinging shirts out of a spare bedroom. And here we are today,
dude,
11 years
so
later.
Sick. Yeah. And I can tell you, me and Ryan can attest to this. When we started touring a lot, we realized quickly that Arizona fucking rules.
Yeah.
We fucking love Arizona. Yeah. I'm very proud to be from Arizona.
Amen.
So that's really cool that's kind of like a foundation of why you started the company in general.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and you guys do so much more than, just the t-shirts, which are blowing the fuck up. They're everywhere, but like also your foundation and all that stuff. It's really amazing, and we will get into all that, but let's start from the beginning. You said you were born in Arizona, and like you went to, or in Chandler here. Was your family from Phoenix or?
No, my family's from New York, Long Island. I know we were connected about that.
Which is crazy. My parents, both of my parents are from Long Island.
And that's the beautiful thing about Arizona.
I love
it's a melting
that.
pot, right? Everyone's from somewhere, but now you actually see generations growing up here. But yeah, born and raised in Chandler, went to Goodman Elementary School, Anderson Junior High, then the Chandler High. I know you went to Hamilton.
So we were rivals.
We might not be
Which is crazy.
I went to summer school at Chandler High.
I went to the preschool, I believe, that was near Goodman.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy, bro.
I went to a summer school at Chandler High for, I think it was math, and then I took online PE.
Okay.
I swear to God.
Yeah.
It was a real thing.
Such an online PE guy.
I swear to God, I did online PE.
Online PE back then, that had to have been.
Dude, I would have been a trip.
Bro, what was that like? You plugged in the fucking
the AOL,
the start. What's it called?
It'd be like check your heart rate, and I would like take Adderall a lot. It'd be like check your heart rate. Like my resting heart rate was like way too high, so I would just like Google like what is a normal resting heart rate.
Just type.
And then I would go. I was like, oh, mom, dad, like I need to go on a walk for my online PE, and I would just go around the corner and smoke cigarettes like in front of my neighbor's house and then walk back.
That's dope.
I'd be
That's
like,
funny.
today I saw a Gila monster on the trail, and I was just sitting in my neighborhood.
And what age were you?
Probably like 15.
7.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking like elementary school or something like that.
No, I started smoking at 12. I smoked for like until I was like 20.
Okay.
It's not good. I was like 22 or something and laying in bed and like I can't fucking breathe, and I'm like, dude, I'm so young to like be having like a hard time breathing because of how much I'm smoking. So I did the next best thing and did vapes. And I did that for a long time.
Did you have one of those big ass vapes?
Yeah, I am proud to say I did have one of those for a little bit, and then the Juul came out. I was like, all right, this is like a little bit cooler,
a little classy.
And then I would hit it until I would get like brain zaps, and I'd be like, dude, I can't do this while driving because I'd be like, and then so I switched now to just nicotine pouches, and I've got 3 in right now. It's nice to just cruise through life, and thank you Online PE for getting me started on that path.
So where were we? Oh yeah, by the way, we will derail the conversation at least 300 times. So
that's the beauty of a podcast.
That's how we do it.
Yeah.
So you family's from New York. You grew up here. you were in like hospitality, is that correct?
Yeah, so I spent 15 years in the hotel industry. You know, I've always wanted to work. You know, at 15 years old, like the day I could legally work, 15 years and 7 months, I started working at the Residence Inn by Marriott across the street from Chandler Fashion Mall, when Chandler Mall was being really built.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I had a lot of friends that worked there.
Really?
I'll talk to you afterwards.
At the mall?
Or at the hotel.
Really?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, we'll talk after this.
But yeah, so I was cleaning dishes. I always had a strong work ethic. My mom was in the hotel industry. My stepdad was in the hotel industry. My dad still is an engineer at Honeywell. But I've always wanted to make my own money. And like during that time, I worked my way up to become a GM, and I always loved the people side of it and the customer service side of it. But I've always loved fashion and just Arizona. So just we're able to bring it together, and it's the perfect situation.
There's so many like valuable things you can take away from hospitality when it comes to starting a business. And you know, at least for us, for like music, 90% of everything is just maintaining your relationships and like who you meet and who you know, and making sure that you're in good standing with everybody. And like that's how
not just with
get
the
more
fans,
opportunities and stuff. But it's like it has to be the same way with you, where it's like,
dude, I love people. I think because you don't have to be. I'm not the smartest dude in the world, right? But I know how to treat people right, especially coming in the hotel. You know, if people are having a bad day, you can really, you know, you could control making it a good day, right? So it's like, I've always just loved that, something different every day. And that we implemented that into, I'm very passionate about customer service. A big part of what we do in the retail side with our 4 stores is really challenging our team to go above and beyond and make it not about just transactions and selling t-shirts. We always want to be known for more than selling t-shirts and hats. And that's why we started a nonprofit to support local entrepreneurs. And that's why we do collaborations and so much, you know, different shit than a normal like t-shirt brand, because retail is hard, you know, as you guys know.
Yeah, dude, especially I would imagine, especially like clothing, because I feel like I personally know people that like, you know, have a huge following as an artist or whatever that have tried to start clothing brands and went into it thinking like, oh, this is gonna be easy because like I have a ton of fans, and then realizing quickly that like this is a really hard thing to keep going.
Amen. Especially for us, like we're a niche brand. Like we rep AZ. That's where we're from. Like we care. That's why you really had to be smart about, you know, evolving and being more sustainable and offering more services. But yeah, like I look at it as like, you got to give people a reason to want to buy a shirt. So we've really focused on retention, and we collaborate with so many organizations and really give, like, whether it's first responders or teachers or whatever, it's like, you know, we know not everyone's going to rock with State 48. We're not trying to say we're high end fashion, but we really care about the community, and we just, you know, go where the sales are, and we're smart about that side of things.
When you first started out in 2013, were you guys just online sales or?
Yeah, great question. So I remember when we first started, you know, I didn't even know Arizona was a 48 state. My partner at the time said State 48, and I was like, boom, it was an aha moment, you know, because I was writing down names in a notebook.
Wait, what's like one of the, is there a funny name that you remember?
The only one I remember is Be You, like something stupid. It was like Be Yourself, you know, which, you know, but that was the only thing that really kind of stuck to me. And then we knew, you know, I wanted to do something around Arizona. My partner, Stefan, comes out brushing his teeth. He says State 48. I was like, what's State 48? He's like, Arizona's 48 state.
And it just rhymes. Dude, like it sounds inspired.
We got so lucky.
Yeah,
and then like
so cool.
His brother, who's my partner now, self-taught graphic designer, pitched us like 4, you know, logos. And, you know, the one that we use now is like, it was a home run.
It's so pretty much like the same logo since.
I mean, that's always my piece of advice, like going into business, especially in, you know, apparel or anything, like make sure you love your name and your logo, because we certainly use it a lot.
Did anyone from the state ever try to fuck with you guys?
No, it's been.
I'm just curious.
We're the first company to ever trademark State 48 in Arizona. I take a lot of pride in that.
That's crazy.
Now there's like 80 plus organizations with State 48 branding, which is cool. I know like because
3 people that have State 48 separate types.
But like every time someone else pops up that tries to do it or wants to do it, it probably validates how fucking great the initial idea was.
We
like there's certain ideas.
Yeah, but it's like, we were solving a problem, and that's important in business, right? Like it was the corny 3 for $10 Walgreens shirts that were like our souvenir type of shirts. And, you know, I always thought of like I Heart New York, but I was like, we got to be cooler. We got to provide more comfort. Like we're just graphic tees, right? We just want to sling pride.
Dude, that's true. It really is like the I Heart New York thing, but for AZ.
Yeah.
That's when I see the shirts.
You can trademark it. You can't trademark I Heart New York because every single person's going to make that. But you see your logo, it's something that you can be like, hey, cut it out, you know.
And that's what,
like,
that was just so cool. Is like there wasn't any like sense of pride. I would generally get upset when people would like want to go explore opportunities outside of Arizona, go to Cali, go to New York, like. And don't get me wrong, those are beautiful places, but I'm like, where the hell is our pride? And remember like going to First Fridays when it was a dirt lot and no one,
dude, it was
there. Now you see it now. It's like, holy shit, like this is dope to see like
it's
how
popping now.
Arizona's growing.
You can't even park now. Like you can't get
You're not even on like at a Wednesday or Thursday. Like it's crazy.
It's nuts, dude. Yeah, Arizona has grown so much. It's like we do so much traveling where we've been to every state multiple times, and every time you're anywhere, like if you're ever on vacation, you're like, could I live here a little bit? Like there's always some part of you, and like there's times where you're like maybe I could live here, but we lived in California for like a year and a half, and we're like, get me back to Arizona. We needed to get out to like appreciate what we have here.
It's true.
Our culture is like, there are other states where there's some deep rooted culture, and Arizona doesn't really have that because it's so many different cultures. A lot of like the Latin American, the Hispanic, Mexican culture is like Arizona's culture, but it's turning into this thing where the kind of not this one specific culture has turned into its own culture, and Arizona's become, I just love it so much. Like I never see myself ever leaving here. Like my favorite restaurants, some of my favorite restaurants in the fucking country are here. I think some of the coolest bars are here. I think it's just like,
there's a reason why, costs keep going up, why people keep moving here.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place, right?
Yeah. If we could just lower the summer temperature.
Yeah. And otherwise then you're in San Diego, which is fucking amazing.
I hate the cold though. I hate the cold.
See, the older I get, I'm like I want cooler temperatures because I want to be able to dress in a sweater and feel comfortable. I want like San Diego temperature.
Oh no, I like Arizona cold.
Yeah.
I'm saying sure. I don't like Colorado cold.
Oh yeah.
Like that's why I'm willing to put up with the summer here. Because like right now it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful
like a reward.
Right now.
Like you get through the most brutal summer. I work out outside in my backyard every day. So in the winter it gets kind of hard because it gets cold, but in the summer it's like you just have to get through it because like you have to do this hour workout in like 100 degrees at 9 a.m.
Yeah. And
but then it's once it's nice again, you like appreciate.
And to your point, I mean, what we got 8-9 months of the year, that's like perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, it's affordable, especially if you bought early on and stuff. Like you can go travel and do, other things elsewhere.
Yeah.
The other couple months here and there, right? So it definitely makes it easier to get through those tougher summers.
Yeah.
But everyone's got shitty weather, really, besides San Diego.
Dude, scraping ice? Right? Absolutely not.
No.
We'd be on tour and be like, this
and
blows.
It's like we've always had the, misperception or, unfair perception of like we're so fair weather, right? But like we're such a young state, we're not Boston, New York. We have like just like so much, years of traditions,
right?
And everyone's a diehard Red Sox fan or everyone's a diehard Yankee fan. Well, now you have that growing up here in Arizona, which I think is really cool.
Yo, I went to so our manager's son is 16. He plays ice hockey. And I went to the ASU hockey game with him over the weekend to Mullet Arena.
Yeah, it's a special place.
Bro, it's so sick.
I haven't checked it out yet.
Oh, it's sick.
But like, so when I was his age, I was playing ice hockey.
Okay.
And ice hockey was starting to pop in Arizona. Like when I was like 7 or 8 years old, that's when like ice hockey kind of started becoming a thing out here, but it was really small.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of kids were playing ice hockey. And now it's massive. Like the ASU team when I was 16 was... they were playing games at like not arenas, like not Mullet Arena, you know what I mean? And so to see like how like hockey has grown in Arizona, it like just seeing that expansion, that boom of like different things in Arizona is like really exciting to me.
That's why I never get. I mean, I know NIL is a big part of this now, but like why we can never attract the best athletes in the world that come from. Would you rather play in Alabama or like Arizona, like Tempe, right?
Would you rather have your house in Scottsdale or would you rather have it in like
it's crazy
Cleveland, Ohio?
Yeah, no, it's like obviously money's involved, but it's just like it's always mind blowing to me how like especially ASU you have all these programs why we can't have the best of the best.
It is an interesting concept because it's like it's kind of like this overall concept that people have that like in order to make things great in their life they need to go somewhere else to get it.
True.
Instead of like like what you were saying, it's like why don't we have pride for our state? Like why aren't we building cool stuff here that we believe in that's going to attract people to come here instead of going to try to like find that somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean even talking to my boy now Brett Hundley who went to Chandler High and then he played football at UCLA. And he got to play with the Cardinals, but like same thing. He just wanted to go explore other opportunities, and you get it. But it's like if you're 18, 17 years old, and you come to college at Tempe, you're in a special place.
Yeah,
right? I never understand how you can't attract the best. Like
there's like Andrew Santino is a comedian who went to
He's
ASU.
funny.
There's a lot of people that like comedians and stuff where they have family out here and stuff, and you hear them talk about like how much they loved going to college in Arizona. Because especially like, I mean, I don't know what it's like now because I don't go to like college bars anymore, but when I was at that age and being in Tempe all the fucking time and like Mill, like it was different, and it was like there was something like special. It was just fun, and it was.
Dude, Mill used to be the spot. Now it's like a ghost town. Yeah, even weird. For like the college students. I mean, things are changing too. Like what type of vibes people like, and more speakeasies, and rather than the popping bottles and all that kind of stuff. But it's just cool to see the
last time I was there, is like this like bus of like frat kids got let off, and like they looked like babies to me, and I was just like, dude, I'm getting old.
Right?
I'm getting old.
I know.
I have a question. It's like when you guys initially started the company in 2013, did you and your partner, right?
Yeah, I had 2 business partners at the time. They were 2 best friends and brothers, so we went 3 equal ways.
Okay, cool. And I think I watched a recent interview where you said you guys had like $1,500, like
collectively.
Yeah,
we put it all on a trademark.
And
I remember even borrowing money from my mom.
That's like you put all the money to the trademark.
Yep, it was $1,500
before you even printed shirts or anything.
Absolutely. And then that process took almost a year. We wanted to respect the process too, because and then I remember my boy Chris, like we got our first run of screen print shirts. You know, we did 2 different runs with him. And it was like every ugly color combination.
I saw you talking about
I was like, bro, like what was we thinking? We even did a launch party at Tavern on Mill. I don't know if you remember that.
Tempe Tavern?
Yeah.
Bro, we used to play there.
Really?
Dude, we used to play at Tempe
Tavern.
Tavern.
Our paths haven't crossed.
It's so weird,
but we had...
No, you were probably there one night when we were playing, selling shirts, and we hung out, and we all just...
lime green fluorescent.
And we all just forgot because we were all drunk, yeah.
No, but we did this launch party, and it was like so cool because like, you know, at first we were just slinging shirts out of our house, and neighbors probably thought we were dealing drugs or something, but we were just like, that was how we were selling out of the house. People want to come by, your friends and family take notice, and then you really start to catch on to others. And then we knew we had something special, but we started just selling online, and we started, you know, getting into retailers, and then the whole collaboration part of the business took off too.
What made you want to take that leap of like, hey, we're doing online sales and it's going a little bit better, we should start paying rent? Like, what made you
I think it's just like, I think one thing I'm very proud of in our 11 years, we continue to we were just being smart about our growth. We were very organic. As I just said, we didn't have any resources or capital just laying around to help us get there. We hustled, right? I was working 12-hour days at the hotel, and then go basically fall asleep working State 48, the traditional story that you hear a lot from entrepreneurs. But I like, this is my passion. I'm grateful to be, you know, and it might sound silly, but like we're doing so much more than selling shirts and hats. But it was just a kind of evolving as a business and become more legitimate. And like one thing we did smart was Stefan went full-time first, and Nick went full-time second. And then where I was at in my career, I went last. But every time we kept investing more into ourselves and the company and the people, we just kept growing, and that's true today too.
Yeah, that's crazy. What were some of the initial things that you guys did looking back to help influence culture, like building that culture in Arizona, and like that kind of like being appreciative of the state and where we're from, besides just the fact that you were selling the shirts with the logo that has Arizona's cutout on it and State 48? Like, what were some of the other things that you guys initially did that you didn't actually expect you were going to do that really helped blossom that kind of like building the culture?
No, I love that question. I think it's true with any brand,
because it's not just selling shirts, like you're saying. It's like it actually, and same with, I think the parallel here for us with music is like, you can just make an album, but like how you release that and how you get people into your world and how you like also give back to the community, or like, it's all a part of the thing, you know? So what did you guys do to like make it not just shirts?
Absolutely. And I love that question. I think it's true to anyone. You got to be authentic in who you are, right? People read through the bullshit. And I know like we've always been very honest and authentic of learning and leaning on our community. That word is overused so much now, community, but like we were about like listening to customers, like what do they want, right? And we started off just every other color combination, our main logo. And then really what like our big kind of moment was that helped us grow was collaborating with Bruce Arians, the former Cardinals head coach. And that all became, we all know life's all about who you know. Like we did like Phoenix Fashion Week. We did like kind of it was a boot camp of you know, the business side of fashion, which we learned a lot. And then Brian Hill, the executive director, connected us with Jake Arians, which is Bruce Arians' son. They have a family foundation called the Arians Family Foundation, which help neglected children with a bad upbringing. And then Bruce is like, hell yeah, let's try it. He was the coach at, you know, a year into it, and we created this silhouette of BA, and it became like a Cardinals shirt. I mean, we know like sports ignites the community more than anything, and we were selling that shirt, so we were able to drive revenue, but we were also giving back $5 per shirt to the Arians Family Foundation. So like we didn't have a formal business plan, and collaboration certainly wasn't part of that, but like we're like, oh wow, collaborating with other organizations, we help each other out, we add value to each other. So then after that
kind of just happened, and you realize like, oh shit.
Because everyone says like
shirts.
pitch to your big athletes and fits and all that. Yeah. Well, that's easier said than done, right? And it's like BA believed in us, and he wasn't about like, he didn't need our money, but we were helping support a great cause, and they became like family, and they're still like family today. Jake's one of my great friends, and that's the beauty of doing business the right way, is like building real relationships. But like then we gained a lot of credibility. The shirts were on Monday Night Football. Cardinals were having success.
It's like a real thing now.
Yeah, and then like the Diamondbacks took notice, and then we became corporate partners with Diamondbacks, and then the Suns, and then we're working with Phoenix Children's Hospital and Dignity Health and all. It's like people love what we stand for, right? And that's so it's a long-winded answer, but like it was really just being true to who we are, and like saying it is more than just selling products.
Because when you started, I guess what I should ask too in the beginning was like, when you guys, the three of you, started the company, at first, was it genuinely just like, yo, we just think this is cool and we want to make these shirts?
Oh, I mean, yeah.
And it wasn't really bigger than that. And then it started unfolding, and you're like, oh, this is way bigger than just the shirts.
Yeah, in my head.
For us, that's what it was too. Yeah. It's like, we just got together as kids, and we're like, yo, we just know we want to make some rad shit together because we feel this.
With our friends.
And we just like feel that we need to make this music together, but we had no idea what it would later on, like, I guess, teach us in life. Even now, to make a long story short, like, you know the stuff that's happened with Andy and shit, but like, it's crazy how you can start something with such a small idea of what you think it is, and it becomes something that's...
Dude, it's nuts. People... And
it's got to feel so cool for you guys,
and it's like, it is a blessing and a curse because I'm never satisfied, right? And I love what we've accomplished 11 years, but I still like, man, we haven't done shit yet, And I'm like, that's how I'm wired, and I'm like grateful for all the love and support we have from the team and the community, but it's like, it's like you're just never satisfied, right?
Because it's not what you could do.
Yeah,
it's like you could give back more. You could, for sure.
And I know, and to your point earlier too, it's like I knew in my head I was put on this planet to make an impact, not to be corny or anything, but like you just don't know how you get there, right? And then I think the smart thing we did in business, and we still do, is like go where the sales tell where your community is telling you, and just really listen. Because I think early on we got stubborn and made it about us, of like, no, we want to do this way, this way. And we were like fighting over the stupidest things. Like we didn't have defined roles at the beginning, and things that really wasted a lot of time on. And that's part of being immature and growing up, right? But like, I'm grateful for our journey, because we probably wouldn't be here today if we didn't have to go through all those mistakes on what not to do. And that's why we're passionate about starting a foundation that helps others pursue their dreams and help make them sustainable.
Yeah. For us, it's like, you have 4 very different people coming together and working on this one thing that you all equally love as much as the next person, but it's like it can be difficult to I don't know, there's just times where your vision is completely different than somebody else's vision. And not only that, it's like you guys are a business now for like 11 years, you said. It's like people grow up and people change, and to like, so you have still the same business partners?
No, so Stefan exited the business. It's been like 3 or 4 years now. And so Stefan, to give a little backstory, Stefan and I were like, my dad was our T-ball coach. I never thought we'd have been in business together. We were living together at the time. We were working at the hotel together. And this was like my dream to like create a clothing brand. And then he came up with the name and like, let's do this together. And then brought on, all right, well, we need a graphic designer. And then brought Nick. And so Stefan and I, and like he'll tell you this, we became not like, we weren't friends anymore. Like going in business with friends and family is hard,
dude.
So like I ended up purchasing his shares. He's doing what he loves. Like we were actually just talking today about the Suns, and like it's cool to have a relationship with him again. And to part of growing up too is even Nick and I butt heads all the time growing up, in our business together. And now it's like we still do, but on a very professional level. And it's just it's cool to just grow up and mature.
It's what gets you to that next thing. It's like me and Stravers. We can butt heads on things or have both like completely differing views about what the absolute right thing to do is, and the other person's wrong and you're right. But it's like that, me listening to his side gets me more into, oh, well, like that's actually a good point. It's like you have to be open, you have to be willing to work with other people. And I feel like it always gets like when on the times where me and him are like kind of I don't know, just like both thinking two different things, I think we always reach like the best possible scenario out of it. And I don't know, do you feel the same way?
Yeah,
like,
we'll weed out kind of, I don't know. I think the hardest part about like doing business with your friends is that it's hard to listen. And if you can like listen to everybody and what their fears, I think what it really comes down to is like listening to each other's biggest fears. Like, all right, what are you afraid that's going to happen that we want to make sure doesn't happen? What am I afraid of that's going to happen that we don't want to happen? And how do we not make that happen?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean?
I never thought of it like that.
Because I feel like that usually brings about the biggest like problems.
Yeah.
When someone feels like they're not being heard, I guess. And I have a problem with that sometimes, because sometimes when I have visions and shit that's going on in my head that feels true, like I'm seeing shit in the future that like I know needs to come to fruition.
We're allowed, bro.
Bro, it's like so hard for me to get that vision into someone else's head with my words.
Dude, same.
And like it like feels so true and real to me that like when I can't get someone else to see it, I'm like, I don't know how to express myself properly.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they feel the same way sometimes too. So it's
I had a hard time with like, I'd have things a certain way. I don't anymore, but it definitely when I was younger and we'd have things, it's like, I would be like, this is the way it has to be. And, you know, I need to fight everybody until it happens. But now it's more like, how strongly do I feel about something, where it's like, if I really do feel 100% this is the way, then I will make it be known and I'll say exactly why. But if the other three guys don't believe it, then, you know, the next thing's going to go. I'm going to stand up strong for like the things that I think are truly 100%. But if don't really care a whole lot either way, or if it's like kind of something else where somebody else feels way stronger about it than I care about it, then I let them run with that now. But in the early days, it's so hard to
let your ego die
and
too.
this amazing
100%.
thing, and then have somebody else be like, no, but what if like this part of that is different? Like, there was none of that working for me where I could change like, oh, that's different. Now I have such an easier time of, I don't know, looking at things from other people's perspectives. I think it like working on something you love and like building it into something kind of makes you into a better person unless it fucking breaks you. Like it's either going to like destroy you or you're going to.
Yeah, that's one thing about the band. And like outside of the band, I produce and mix and run my own business where I like record artists and mix for tons of different artists and stuff. So like I'm running our studio. Katastro has a studio in Tempe on Southern and Mill.
Okay.
And so we moved into that studio and took it over a couple years ago. So when Katastro's not busy in there, I'm doing stuff, you know, with other artists in there and shit. But over the past few years, especially since what we've been through with Andy, and I'm sure like what Ryan just said, like it makes you look at yourself. Like running your own business or businesses makes you look at, because when shit goes wrong, dude, you can't be like, yo, it's your fault. It's like, dude, it's my fault. And like if we're not making enough money as, you know, a band or my other business or whatever, it's my fault. So like, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to learn? And that's like actually something I'm really going through right now, where I'm like looking at all these things, and it kind of sucks because you're like,
business,
you're like, yo, I can't.
And life is humbling, that's for sure.
Yeah, like, and you know, we could blame it on Andy dying or whatever, but all stuff. But it's like, you know, there's always things that we could do differently and do better, and there's reasons why we're not where we want to be, or you know what I mean. So it kind of puts more power in your own.
No, I love this conversation because like the beauty of growing up though is maturing, right? And like that's like, you know, people joke, oh, I'm getting old. I'm like, fuck, I wouldn't change it for the world. Like I love being able to like see clearer. And of course, I'm wanting to grow and learn every single day. But like, just reflecting on the past of like the dumbest arguments that still even happen today.
We would get in a looped group chat of just like the dumbest arguments for years.
Yeah, like, about social media posts. I'm like, this is stupid. Like, so like,
same dude.
You know, it's like crazy, but it's like you have to go through that to be able to pass that forward to people. Like, don't do this same shit. Like, you're gonna waste so much time and money on things.
We'd have full blowouts about like dark gray or light gray, when it's like at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. Like,
I think
if they're gonna buy a gray shirt, they're gonna buy that gray shirt.
About it. So like it does matter, but it's like, all right, let's put, and like what I've learned too is just becoming prepared. Like I have a lot of one-on-ones with, you know, my partner and our team in general, and like I just have to come prepared, because similar to like I'm over here like when you were saying that shit, I'm like, this is exactly who I am. I'm passionate, I have a vision. Sometimes it's hard to articulate that sometimes.
If you don't put the time into presenting it properly.
I need to come, and I just need to, and I'm like, even on my goal list this year is become a better listener, you know, not fucking interrupt and like, you know, because I'm like, my train of thought gets lost, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I'm just like, I need to say my word, but like just coming prepared with like my notes and like, you know, asking more questions and things is cool to see. my personal professional development. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. There's when you're growing like something like that, there's this fine line we talk about a lot between like confidence and delusion. And so did you feel like, do you know what I'm talking about, where you believe in something so much and there's always this breaking point where it's kind of like people are like, how's your like little shirt company, or like how's your little like band going on?
Yeah.
Like it's like playing shows and stuff. It's always sort of condescending from like an old family member you don't care about.
Hey, fuck you, grandma. We just played Red Rocks.
Yeah, but it's like there's like this like thing where it's just like, I know right now it's not exactly what I want. I know that it can be so much better, but I know that's going to happen. There's part of me that's like, I'm a little bit, you need to be a tiny bit delusional and you need to be really confident, but you also need to be, realistic about where your position is and what's going on.
Yeah. So. One thing that I've been living by, that my boy Jason from Bad Birdie, shout out to them, but he says, do your best and forget the rest. And it seems so simple, but like, it is that like simple.
Yeah.
Like if you could go every day and just fucking give it your all, every day is just going to get better. Right. And it's easier said than done because we're all dealing with like all sorts of shit, but like do your best and forget the rest, like really resonates a lot with me of just trying to be better every day.
Yeah, man. So you guys have 4 retail stores now?
Mm-hmm. So we have our OG store in North Chandler, Arizona Avenue, Elliott, right by our office space. And then we have downtown Gilbert. It's a beautiful store. Downtown Phoenix at the Churchill.
I've been there.
Shipping, all
shipping
downtown
containers. Gilbert is starting to.
It's popping.
It's the new shopping center out there.
I'm very biased to the East Valley because we were talking earlier. It's like people like, where are you from? I'm like, Chandler. What's in Chandler? I'm like,
Peychaud,
around,
dude.
Yeah.
Best coffee shop ever.
I mean, dude, to be fair, like you grew up here,
I'm biased.
20 years ago, it was like literally.
I went to Chandler High. I wasn't like proud of fucking downtown Chandler and everything now, and you see what it is today is like really cool.
It's pretty cool.
And then we just opened our 4th store in Norterra, so I-17 Happy Valley. So essentially, before you head up to Flagstaff or Sedona, you could stop over there. So that's our goal, is open up more doors. We're bullish on retail because we love to provide great experiences and talk about other services. But if we can be statewide and have locations across the valley or across the state, then we'll definitely.
Have you guys
our goal.
Thought of like the airport?
Yeah, so we have some airport retailers now.
Okay.
That was one of our first big accounts was retail or in the airport, and that really helped us get the brand out there. But big vision would have our own place in the airport that we could operate. But typically, Sky Harbor, it's more of a license deal, and I'd rather control that type of experience. But we have some great partners in the airport now.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't know. I was like thinking about it on my way here. I was like, dude, I feel like the airport would be like the most perfect place because that's the only place I buy. Like, I don't know, if I'm like traveling and if I'm not from that area, but I need some sort of souvenir from that place.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about it when I'm out experiencing their city. I'm thinking about it hour before I was supposed to get on a flight. Like, fuck, I didn't get my wife anything or something. It's, so you guys have the license plates now too, and that's through the foundation.
Yep.
Can you explain a little bit?
Yeah.
Is that a difficult process, I imagine?
Man, it's so difficult. That was a huge milestone that we were able to accomplish, and it was a vision of mine like 5+ years ago. I didn't know how the hell it was going to work.
Yeah.
But we started State 48 Foundation over 3 years ago now that supports local entrepreneurs. I didn't even know what the process looked like, but you had to have a nonprofit. That's not, of course, why we started a nonprofit. But so we hired a lobbyist. That was like a 2-year process. It was $30,000 to hire a lobbyist. It costs $30,000 to actually, once you're approved, then you pay ADOT. And then, so our foundation will receive $17 out of $25 of when someone purchases a plate. 17 goes to the foundation, 8 goes to ADOT. The for-profit, we just, benefit organically. It's a cool freaking thing. But just seeing State 48 license plate in the wild is just really sick, cool, man. And that's where that's super cool. What I always want people to know, it's like it's a legit brand that we really care about, just promoting love and helping other people in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, you've done such a great job of like, I have a friend who his family did Life's Rad in Carlsbad. They're like they're a smaller city, seem kind of like they wanted to do like a culture thing for there. But you guys have really blown up into so much bigger than like the t-shirts, even though you can't go into any outing anywhere and not see a State 48 shirt or a car with the sticker or something. Like, it's really amazing. You guys did such a great job of like, finding the one thing that you do, the logo that you love and doing it right, and then just putting it out. But how much you put back into the community and how much you actually like love the community, because we love the same thing when we're on tour. Like, we do these podcasts and stuff. Like, we're always talking about how much we love Arizona, and we do Kamp Fest, and we had people from almost every single state fly into Arizona, and we were like, hey, we're picking our favorite restaurants we want our fans to go check out, and we're trying to like get them to go support the businesses that we love. And it's like, that's the culture, you know. It's like we were sort of missing a culture back, you know, many years ago, and it's like it's building and sustaining. We want people to see like what's going on, because Arizona's fucking sick. It's like the people are fucking cooler here than almost anywhere else.
People have caught on, but
yeah, it seems like I don't know. Do you notice like I feel like older generations, like our parents and like our grandparents, there seemed to be more of an importance of passing on cultural like traditions.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that scares me is that like for, I don't know, people our age now or younger don't see the value in that. And like, I don't know, that's,
well, also people aren't having as many kids nowadays too, right? So like,
yeah,
and everyone wants to do their own thing, and traditions are changing. So I think that's kind of a cool thing, though, is like kind of you don't know where shit's headed, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
That's the hardest thing with, you know, Andy passing and stuff. And I'm like, I deal with it every day. Is just learning how to accept that I can't control everything, and even though I want to, or like things, I can have any vision for anything to happen a certain way, but there's no guarantee that anything is going to work out like that. It's all going to fall apart. Have there been many times in your, you know, like for us with our band career, we would get to these points where we're like, I don't know if this band's going to go on, like
massive roadblocks.
Yeah, massive roadblocks. Like, I don't know if we're going to go on any longer. Like, I think, have you hit a lot, like many points in the early days at least, where it's just kind of like, why are we doing this? Or like, this is getting harder, and you have to like kind of make yourself know it's worth it.
Yeah, great question. I've never like had any desire to give up or think that we were going to fail. However, it only gets harder by the day. I mean, I'll say, you know, we're celebrating 11 years this month, and, you know, really analyzing our finances, because the last 2 years we've really invested heavily into the team, and we're kind of in that growth stage of, okay, we've built the team, now we can open more doors and really scale this thing. But, you know, really diving into finances, you know, even reflecting on the 2023 and just being like, man, you know, mistake. And just like, you know, payroll only gets more, you know, there's just more stress that comes with it. And then sometimes it takes away like the passion. Like, this is like what I get up for every day. But I would be bullshitting you if I said like, man, sometimes you do start to think like, man, would I ever like, you know, consider myself leaving, or, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then you slap yourself up a little bit, and you're like, no, that's not like that ultimately. But like those days become more common, because like the business part of it, like the stress part of it, of actually like growing this thing, there's just so much more stress in it, and it takes away, you know, early days of like, those were hard too, but just like having less pressure, you know, with, you only have 3 of us and it's just side money.
When you're young too.
Yeah.
And now it expanded.
It
expands your consciousness to realize you're actually in charge of other people's lives.
Yeah. And it's like, we have a team of 25 and like great freaking people. And like, I'm so like, thankful that I get to work with all them, and they're helping us grow this. But like at the end of the day, like what you're saying, like, we win or succeed, of course, that's a group effort, but this is ultimately on me, right? And I take a lot of pride in that, work my ass off to make sure we never are going to. But I fear that sometimes of like the reality of like, fuck, what if this doesn't make sense? Or, you know, that's why like it's a blessing that I'm never like satisfied, because I'm always thinking of the next big thing, right? Because like we can't just think we're just gonna, you know, slang Arizona pride and never evolve and do anything different. We're constantly changing, improving, and getting better. And if you're not wired like that, you are probably gonna, you know, potentially fail. Unfortunately, and business is hard. So I know that was long-winded, but yeah, it's you definitely have your hurdles every day.
Absolutely. I mean, you fully believe in it, and you kind of push through I mean, for us, it's different, but we'd be on tour and it'd be like, hey, we have enough money right now to eat only peanut butter sandwiches for the next 2 weeks, and we would just be playing the shittiest shows and nobody cared.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I know one day this will be worth it.
It's so funny, bro. Like, I remember having these very, very, like, I vividly remember this, but like when it'd be like really cold and like snowing out on tour, and I'd be loading my drums in the back of the trailer, and it was like, you know, like 10 years ago or whatever.
Miserable, yeah.
And the show sucked, you know, we're like Virginia on a Tuesday night, and there was like 20
negative 20 out.
Yeah.
And there was like 20 people at the show, and I'm like freezing, and I haven't really eaten good. And I always remember this voice telling me like, you just got to keep going because this is going to be worth it. And I don't know why I had that, bro, but I always had that. And then you fast forward to Andy dying and us doing Camp Fest, which I think was like possibly the biggest accomplishment our band has ever made, like just to do that show.
Yeah.
Because it was the first time we ever played after Andy died, and we didn't even know that we could do that. And it all fell into place. We had all these people show up from, like where Ryan said, across the country, and it was just like this moment of like, oh, this is why we did this shit.
Yeah.
It was like this this moment where like the light switched on for me, and I was like, we did this. Like we created this thing as kids, so one day it could bring people together. No, and it was like this like physical representation of what the stuff that we had created had like built a culture.
Yeah.
Like we have fans across, like we have, like, yeah, we did so much shit wrong because we were just kids and learning and not truly treating it like a business. But like, I am proud of the work ethic we put in with like the touring, and like there's a lot of kids that would not fucking do what we did.
Yeah.
And like struggle and like not, and do that with no money. And to see,
we did it for a long time too.
Yeah. And we did it for a fucking long time, man.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of kids that will not do that. And without knowing that it's even going to lead to anything. Like, we just kept doing it for some reason. We knew we had to do it. And then the only thing I get out of that, or the only reason, like honestly, like that I think we did it, is to bring people together and make them feel less alone.
That was beautiful. I respect that too. And yeah, it's the old school work ethic. Like it's kind of a afterthought, a little bit nowadays, even though there are still a lot of the young generation that I don't think it's fair to put everyone in that bubble, but you got to work your ass off for what you want. Yeah. And like you guys both know, like you were so passionate, confident in your group of like, hey, we're doing this for a reason and it's going to succeed. And that's how I'm wired too. And it sounds like we're the same of like, man, my hardest days are when I'm just at the office, grinding away at, shit I don't want to be doing, whether it's accounting.
There is self-doubt, dude.
There's 100%
there's crippling like I'll admit, I have battled with crippling self-doubt for years at different times. Like sometimes it's not there. So, you'll be going through a winning period and you're like, oh, I got this. And then
the next day you get slapped in the face. It's like, hey, we can be like the ups and downs, but like, I think we share that same common, commonality is that like when you're out with your fans or the community, I know when I'm out and I hear people say like, we love State 48 for what you stand for and the love you promote. Like that's what gets me fired up, dude. Like that's where I'm like, that's why I keep telling the team, I'm like, I gotta be out with the community and the people and hearing all the, and it's not all like, but like that's why we're doing this, to make an impact, right? To also be doing what we love, but like the fact that we can be known for more than selling t-shirts and hats and make an impact, like that's a beautiful thing. And that's where like I think again the commonality is like we got to be out and about too, and like I'm sure your fans just pour it in you guys, and you're making a difference in people's lives.
Yeah, they've supported us. I mean, they're the only reason we're like alive right now. It's like they've paid for my living and stuff for so long. It's like these people are the most important people in my life, like over almost anyone. It's like those are the people that truly have our backs, and especially we saw it when Andy passed. And going back to that, I like when you're talking about never having, like, kind of feeling like nothing's ever nothing, you're always going. It's like there's that drive, and we both have it too, and it's like you always want something better. And it wasn't until Andy had passed away where the veil had kind of gotten taken away, and I saw for the first time what we had, and I realized I wasn't appreciating the wins that we had. And like there was so much where I was seeing like all these outpouring love for like Andy and for me, and for each of us were getting all these like so much support and love from our fans, and you're just like, fuck. Like when I was like 13, all I wanted to do was
be at that moment, right?
Smoke cigarettes in my neighborhood and then play bass guitar on stage and go. All I wanted to do was play shows and be a band and be that guy. Like that's what I fucking wanted. And I've played Red Rocks 3 times now, and we did like a thing at the Suns Arena, and we've done so many cool things where it's like when you get it, you're like, oh, we're almost to the next thing, but the next thing's never really enough. And then once it gets taken away and it stops, you're just like, damn, we did a lot. So I hope that you're able to like, also appreciate some of these things. It's got to be so cool to be involved with the sports teams. Like,
no, it's again, and at our leaders meeting this morning, Marina, who's our executive director of the foundation, said, our icebreaker today was like, write in 2 to 3 sentences, write your 13-year-old self a note. And I was like, this is fucking dope, because it's like, this is where I'd want to be. Like, I'm super grateful for where I'm at, but it's also like, you got to take a step back and appreciate those daily wins, because otherwise you're gonna drive yourself nuts, and you're never gonna be satisfied. And it's like, just really take it day by day.
On the same thing though, you can't stop because then you just fall behind.
Well, it's like, this is cool. Like, being able to connect with this person or you guys, like this is fucking like amazing, right? And it's also then, but the minute you like spend too much time on like, oh, we made it, we did this or that, then like you're falling behind.
You get comfortable, and then
it's like, it's tough.
Yeah, dude, I found, speaking of that thing you said you did that this morning.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I found a journal from 2010 or 11. Like it was a couple years after we graduated high school. I found a journal recently, and in it I wrote, it was like me trying to manifest some shit. I wrote, I am now a successful musician that is surrounded by other talented artists. And I am making over X amount a year just on music, and it's my job. And
you made it.
That's now true.
Yeah.
But like I know when I wrote that, I was working at like Guitar Center in Huntington Beach.
Okay.
When we were all broke as fuck, we moved out there. It was like it was honestly my least favorite job I think I've ever had. It was like I think working there made me feel like, oh fuck, I'm failing at music right now. Do you know what I mean?
You're at Huntington Beach though.
No offense to anyone. Yeah, exactly. Right.
But we were in like the one shitty street they have in Huntington Beach. It was the worst apartment.
Which is so funny, but like, I just remember like I was very much so broke when I wrote that down. And so to see that, I don't know, that's something that I had a dream for. It came true. You forget those things. Though,
yeah.
Because now I have a whole other list of problems in my life.
Yeah.
And other things that need to be, fixed or like things that I need to overcome. And like, it's never going to end, but that's a part of it, right? Like if you stop growing and everything just gets fixed, that'd be boring, right?
And I think, unfortunately, shitty things have to go. We have to go through. I mean, losing Andy, I can't even imagine what you guys go through on a regular basis, but like it sucks that it takes those type of things to put life in perspective a lot. And I'm guilty of it. Like, this shitty thing happens and like, fuck, like, man, I need to really take a step back or slow down. And then the next day comes and we're still in the real world and we have to keep going. Right. But it's like, so I really try to, like, I'm a very positive, optimistic person, but like, I certainly get in my head a lot of like doubt and all that. But it's like, man, like this is a beautiful place to be in this world. Like we have this opportunity to really help make a difference and just do what we love. And really, if we just try to simplify it and take it day by day. Again, I'm trying to take my own advice here, but like, I think that could go a long way for a lot of people.
It's also an insane concept that, because like the parallel too with what you do and what we do is like the idea of like creating something and expecting people to give you money for that and do what you love to do and have like no problems. That is crazy. So it's like, we're already in a lucky position.
Yeah. Well, especially when you think about it, you're like, how many people do I need to want to buy a t-shirt every day? Like, that's a crazy thought of like how many people, and you need to be the ones, because it's like that many people are consuming things, but it's like, how do I make them want mine? And
you know what the tough part about that too is, man, I am like, no bullshit, I am still thankful for anyone who spends $1 with us, right? Like that does not go unnoticed, and that's where we really try to pour it in customer service, and the team feels the same way. But it's like you get wrapped up in like, oh, we have these expectations we need to meet in order to keep moving the business forward. So when it becomes, 500, it's not good enough, I need this, I need that. Like that's where it's like you got to check yourself sometimes. Right. But then also the reality is like you do need these high expectations and goals to continue to grow it. So it's like finding a way to continue to evolve
and like moving towards that North Star, that like big picture thing that everyone agrees on. And honestly, you're running something at a much higher scale than, like, you've got tons of employees and it's a different situation than ours. Like we're more of a tight knit thing. But yeah, that's.
But like I'm watching your business and like I don't even know you, and I follow you on Instagram and just saw shit, and I'm just like I like want you to win because it's like it's good for the state, it's good for everything, and it's like I don't know, like I'm like I have pride for like you and your company because it's just you're doing something that's cool, and you somehow found a niche market in doing like the Arizona thing in like a unique way. And then also just how much you do for the community and like you being involved with sports and shit. Like growing up, I had, Suns wallpaper and stuff. And so like, I know when we went and did like the halftime thing for the playoffs, we we were in there, and I was just like, dude, like I would have these legends like on my walls as a kid, and you're just walking in this place.
And my dad would have been tripping
when it's empty, you know, like walking in there when it's empty and there's nobody there yet, and you're just like, this is nuts.
I mean, Luis Gonzalez is like one of my great friends now. Who would have thought, like, you know, growing up, and I'm like, this
crazy,
fucker,
bro.
This legend is just like the best dude ever.
Just like your
so
homie
it's like,
now.
and I was telling everyone on the team, I was like, I get to go on the Katastro podcast today. I was honored to be here. You know, it's just like, these are the things, and I appreciate you saying that. Like, I genuinely want to see everyone win. Right. And that's what we're all about. Like the competition, negativity in the world, that shit's got to go. Right. So it's just like trying to be that shining light of like, we're not perfect, like we're putting it out there, but like we want people to win. And that's a big part of why we started the foundation, and be like, hey, you have great ideas, or like also checking them to be like, you ready for this? Because it's not easy, but bringing people around to like help them win. And then like
having these moments where you can show the team as well as yourself that all the hard work and the bullshit is worth these big moments.
Absolutely.
These moments where like everyone's coming together and all that stuff. So like for me and Ryan and Tanner starting Kamp. So Kamp was an idea that we had before Andy passed, and we were gonna launch it on the tour that we were about to go on before he died with Atmosphere and Iration, and we were gonna like do a VIP package where it was like, hey, this is welcome to Kamp. And Kamp is like the overarching brand that Katastro that we built. And you know, me and Ryan already had the Kamp podcast, but Kamp is bigger than just a podcast. It's literally our tribe. It's our community. It's Kamp. You know what I mean? It's literally, and that's why we did Kamp Fest. We called it Kamp Fest. And
the studio where you're kind of like talking about doing like a label down the line, and you know, supporting artists that we believe in.
Yeah, the studio is called Kamp Records, where we record and are finishing our new album. And so we're actually, you know, in the process of really turning Kamp into something bigger than just a podcast or just a record label or just a studio or just a festival. It's like, it's a, you know,
you're his friends. I think you are, but you've done work with Futuristic. You know him?
I have. Yeah.
We both produced a song, Water. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, we produced it. We've co-produced a track together with him, and I produced for some of the artists that are on his like label or management.
Yeah, he's another great example of someone who just gets it and just pours it in to people, and just a positive
he actually example. That's crazy you just brought him up. He texted me yesterday out of nowhere, and he was like, yo, Stravs, how you doing, bro? I've literally seen 5 Katastro t-shirts in the last 4 days.
Hell yeah.
He's like, I keep seeing him. I was like, I keep seeing him everywhere. How you doing, man? And we were just going back and forth a little bit.
He's doing he's got like a First Friday gig that he's gonna like kind of close down the whole First Friday and do like a concert and get a bunch of vendors there, and we're gonna be part of. So
sick.
We got to get you guys involved with the next Kamp Fest, because it's a great way to get people.
I would really
hundreds of people, thousands of people that aren't from Arizona come in.
Oh yeah, and then it's like we would love to get you guys involved with our foundation too.
I would absolutely love that, bro. We had awesome.
Futuristic come last year and just share his experience, because it's you know, the artist side is so cool. And do you guys know Matt Mira?
I know the name.
He's awesome. Great guy. He was tour manager for Cascade. But he's here in Gilbert. Shit. You guys got to connect with him.
I would love to meet him.
He started
we should have him on the podcast.
Dude, hell yeah. He's the best. So I brought my he created a company called Strap. And it's like the old Polaroid type of cameras, and it's just like living in the moment. Sick. You guys would love him, but he's someone you got to connect. So those are a couple examples of people we bring together to put on these big speaker series, or just pay it forward, no matter what industry you're in, what path, like whatever, it's all the same shit, right? Treat people right, you know, solve problems, and I'll just be relatable so people have that passion and inspiration and be like, hell yeah, I'm going for my dream, right? It's not gonna be easy, but like I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. It's weird, especially like, you know, growing up, and it's hard to have relationships when you're, you know, zoned in on something and you just love one thing the most, and then, you know, having relationships where it's like, I'm always going to be second, and you're just like, yeah, like that's just how it's going to be. But it's like, there's so many different effects, but it's like, I just fucking like, I love music. I know like what I want to do, and I've made my life into being able to do like what I like. Like I like making music. I like fucking fishing when I can. And like, if I can just do those things, then I'm happy. And I don't really need as much as I used to think I needed.
Yep.
And, you know, like my vision of success has changed a lot just since Andy's passed. I'm like, what do I actually need, or what do I actually want to like be like, oh, I feel like I've been successful, because I am successful in so many ways, and might just be different than what I was originally like thinking. So.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that too, because the same thing as the older you get, the mature you get, hopefully, right? But like life just gets a little bit more simpler,
right?
In the sense, or at least in my situation, of like knowing what I want, and not needing to buy all the hats and the shirts and the shoes and all that shit, but just realizing it's just cool to see like things change, and usually for the best, right?
But since you started the company up until like this point, what are some of the biggest things you learned about yourself that you had to change about yourself in order for your business to become successful?
Yeah, great question. I think the biggest thing too, and I've always pride myself on selecting the right people, but really you need an army around you to build it. And I've always been like, I'll do it, and some could say I'm a micromanager, but I don't think I am, as long as you have the right people that you trust to be able to carry out the mission. But I think, my biggest thing is like I've invested in, like, I was in a CEO coaching group. It's other CEOs around the valley that are much more successful in large businesses, and like I just always want to learn, and I've just felt like my personal and professional development over the last year has taken off. But I think to answer your question, is really like making sure you surround yourself with, and being very honest of where your weaknesses are, and not trying to be so involved. And that's probably tough for any entrepreneur not to be involved. I'm passionate about it, so it's not like I'm wanting to micromanage, but it's just like bringing on the right people and then like letting them do their thing in their own way. Is probably
knowing when to let go a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like, everyone kind of staying in their lanes, in the sense we're still a very small business where we have to wear a lot of different hats, but like bringing on the right people that complement you. For example, like Candace, our director of operation, she's a rock star, amazing human. The development side is her strength. Like even the tough conversations, sometimes my emotions get, too, not that I'm, I just like, I can't sometimes articulate my thoughts, but just having her like be over the people is really seeing a major difference. Right. So just being very honest with yourself of like where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are.
That's what me and him have been doing a lot of like production and writing together. And it's like, it's worked out really well for us, because like he is so strong in all the things that are my weakest parts. And I feel like it's the opposite, where I'm like, my like biggest qualities in songwriting and production stuff is like maybe his weaker spots as well. And it's just like when we can kind of stop and like understand like what is my role and what can I do the best and what can they do better that's going to help me. I don't need to get in their way, and I don't need to get in my way anymore for that either. And it's turned out really well for us, where we've been doing a lot of really cool things with a lot of small artists and trying to bring them up and like develop them and give them a taste, because we made so many mistakes along the way, and we needed to make those mistakes because that's how you learn and stuff. But like, we can probably save some people a little bit of a headache.
That is one beautiful thing about the whole like building a business with other people, is you begin to learn very quickly that life very much so is being able to work with other people and like getting your ducks in a row so that other people can help you. Like you actually have to participate in other people being able to help you efficiently.
Yeah, there's a lot of prep work that goes into that.
Yeah, like
providing
I feel like
clear expectations and roles and all that, because you could say like, bring great people on if you don't give that clear.
But also bringing the right people on, because if you bring the wrong people on that don't understand the big vision and don't know how to really zoom out and see things for like how big you're envisioning it, then like you can be taken the wrong way, and then it's like creates a whole other list of problems.
And that's the tough part too. Is like I love anyone that's been a part of our organization, past, present. But when you work with friends and people you trust, which I take a lot of pride in, right? Like I want people to be passionate about what we're doing and connected, where it's like people vouch for this person. And that's the cool thing about our team of 25. There's a connection everywhere, right? But then it also, the shitty part is like, you could be great friends or great even business people, but they don't align with what you're doing, and you got to make tough decisions, right? And that's like, sometimes you can hold on to the friendship too long before you make those tough calls, and that's where it just becomes like the business side becomes a little shitty, because it's like you just want to have fun and like do good shit.
But the reality is
that's
that
not the reality,
dude. And that's the thing too. It's like a lot of bands. I kind of.
I'm sure you got.
Well, I kind of, because younger artists that come into the studio to work with me, are always looking at the stuff I've done with Katastro, and they see that we've, because the reality is that Katastro has done more as a band than most bands will ever do. Mm-hmm. And that's just like a numbers thing. Like for whatever reason, we got offered and we had a lot of help along the way.
Yep.
I'm not saying we weren't lucky. Like we had a lot of people.
But you earned that luck.
Right, yeah, but we also worked hard at certain things that kept opening different doors. But, they'll always ask me like, how do I don't know. It's just...
It's almost like, how do I get to where your seat is? And they think that you're just going to give them the business plan. I'm like, I'm still trying to figure that out, but also like fucking work for it and figure it out as you go, because everyone's journey is different. Right?
Yeah. The thing, if you're not prepared, like if we were, when we were young, if we were given one of those, one of our songs blew up out of nowhere and we had everything handed to us right away, it would have destroyed us. Like we wouldn't have been able to handle it at that time at all. And so we went through a lot. We made tons of mistakes. We partied way too much, or like I partied way too much. And it was just like, it would start getting in the way. And like, I wouldn't admit that it was like getting in the way of this. And we weren't taking things seriously as a band or a business or anything. It was just like all about like what makes me feel good and what's fun. And it's like, yeah, we did all that. I can't go back and change any of that. I don't think I would go back and change any of it because it's life experiences and I've learned a lot. But part of that is just our journey to get to the point where we can handle kind of what's thrown our way more. And like now when you're given an opportunity, you're like more able to take that opportunity, when before you might not even be like, for you, if you land something with a company to do it, it's like you have to be at a certain size already to even be able to fulfill that many orders or whatever it is. So there's so much that goes on to just all of this, and like how much work to get, like you said, you earned that luck, and it's like you do have to be kind of lucky, but you also need to have worked really hard to be able to like manifest that to happen.
Yeah, and it's hard too, because I know even I've made with all good intention of poor decisions of spending money here personally or professionally, like in the tension of like growing the company, and then you look at it and then you're like, fuck, that was irresponsible. And then you're hard on yourself, but it's like you really just gotta like you gotta go through that stuff to realize, okay, now I'm a better,
because at the end of the day, it's all a gamble anyways. It's like there's no guarantees. That's why even with like Andy, like all of a sudden we're hanging out with him at an Airbnb after spending 5 days with him in the studio working on our new album, and then 2 hours later he gets in a car accident. It's like now it's like, all right, well, that happened, and like he's not coming back.
Yeah.
So are we going to like sit and just sit with that and do nothing? Or are we going to turn this into what we know it can be?
And
there's only two routes. It's not like I don't even want, you know what I mean? Like
it is so sad, man, because that dude was such a good human. I wasn't great friends with him, but every time I'd see him at a Suns game or just with mutual friends, like you can always lit up a room, right? And I just love the music, but it's like, to your point, and we've all lost people, and it's just like, man, like you feel probably like uncomfortable, like being happy and moving on and shit, but you have to move on for your own sake.
Well, not only that, but he would want us to, and like,
but still easier said than done.
It is like, totally, bro.
Like 2 months after he, or maybe I think it was like 3 months after he passed, was like the first time I even like left my house. And me and Tanner went to go see this band called the RX Bandits that we were like obsessed with, and we went out, and it's like, I was like laughing or something, and then a Katastro fan came up and they like started crying, and then I felt guilty that I was having a good time, even though it was the first good time I had had in 3 months. And you slowly start realizing like I'm happier again and I'm getting better and it's okay. But like there's that whole weird guilt of like I shouldn't be having fun right now. I shouldn't be smiling or like, you know what I mean? It's
I experienced that the other day. So last week, who Greaves is, the rapper?
I don't think so.
He used to be on Atmosphere's label.
Okay.
You know who Atmosphere is?
Yeah.
Yeah. He used to like do a bunch of tours with Atmosphere. Anyways, he played the Van Buren the other night, and I went. I mixed his last project, so he hit me. I was like, "Yo, come chill." So I watched his show, and I went out into the crowd. So I was like in the middle of the crowd, and a couple different people walked up to me that recognized me being the drummer of Katastro. Yeah. And this one couple walked up. And she started crying me. She was wearing a Katastro shirt. She happened to be wearing a Katastro shirt, and they couldn't believe I was sitting there. And she came up to me, and she started crying, telling me like how sorry, she was about Andy. And I realized like I thought about this after the show, and I left, but it was like for me, it is kind of weird at first because I'm like, yo, I've been working through this a lot. And like, but what I realize is that all these fans that miss him, a part of them getting through it and healing is like them telling me about that, and what our band means to them and what Andy means to them. So like, I was able to like be present in this moment and just listen to her and like give her a hug and like, you know, actually like not treat her like this thing that I hear all the time. Because that's going to probably happen forever now. Like if I see a fan in 5 years that hasn't seen me since Andy died, like they're going to tell me like, yo, I couldn't believe, you know what I mean? So I got to like almost be able to be open to like receive them and like be there with them while they deal with that.
Well, I think, something
it's tough, bro, but it's
and something I think that could be really cool to kind of lay your head on is like you guys get to continue, you know, putting out music and keeping his memory alive, and the fact that his music is still being played even at our office in my car, like that's something dope, where like, you know, you can really, you know, kind of probably bring that sadness into like,
bro, we're in such like, to me, it's like, I think I'm at a stage now with him for some weird reason, bro. Like after he, like even right when we found out he died, I never was angry. And I had this feeling within my whole being that just like, that's how it was. This is how it's going down. And this was already like gonna happen.
Yeah. I don't have to get over the victim thing of like feeling like, why does this stuff happen to me? Like that was a big thing of like, why? But now it's just like, there's so much that we can still do to, you know, for our legacy as our individuals who have done this forever, and also Andy's family and Andy's memory. And, you know, there's just like, I'm thankful that I was like I the first time I felt like, oh dude, I'm like lucky that I was in this band and I joined it when I was a teenager. I'm so lucky I like decided I was going to eat only peanut butter for 14 days straight.
This is super powerful too, because you do have the opportunity and the platform to keep his memory alive, and obviously bring smiles to your guys' face and like obviously the fans' faces too, because like in most people's situations, it's hard to keep people's memory alive, right?
And it's so hard to view it like that, bro. It's hard to view
it. I'm sure, I'm just saying from an outside perspective, like it's, you know, if you can get in that mindset of like, man, like
that is what I'm saying is that you're right. Like that is the mindset. And where I was going with it earlier is that like in so many ways, when someone really close to you dies, you can view it as like an enormous gift, because in so many ways, it allows you to perceive your reality and what you have in a way that you just literally can't unless certain things are taken away from you. And so for me, that's I guess what I mainly got out of it. It was just
held
like
my shit in my face, and I was like, I need to change. Like I had so much like mental health issues of like anxiety and just shit that I let go too far, and like, you know, too much drinking and too much all this stuff. And like I still drink, I still have fun, and I still have anxiety and stuff, but it's like there are things where it's like once I was taken away, I was just like, I need to fix this now, because I don't know how much time I have. I always think like one day I'm going to do this, one day I'm going to do that. It's like I need to do that now, because if I want that to happen, like I need to start. And like it's just made me a better me, you know, this whole time. So
one thing I'm curious too, I don't know if you ever deal with anxiety. I never even, you always hear the word, and I feel like the last year or two I've dealt with it more than anything. Yeah. And when I was talking to a therapist, and the only thing that really was a takeaway from that time was like, when your routine gets screwed up is like when the most anxiety, at least in my situation, I don't know for you, of like when you experience the most anxiety. For example, like I work a lot. I work almost every day. I love what I do, but I also, you know, when I don't work, say that 6th day, and my routine's off, then I start to like I need to do this, and then my anxiety starts building up. I don't know if for you,
for me it was like I started like exercising, like that was the main thing, and then I started going to therapy, and I found one that like actually like really helped a lot, which was good, because like that can take years to find somebody like that is actually gonna like understand like your actual version of it that's going to help you and stuff. And so that has helped a lot. But even like with exercise and with therapy and everything else, it's like it doesn't just like fix itself. So I think for me, is I was so used to having no like nothing was always the same. I was on tour, everything was different all the time. And then to be stuck at home for 2 years now, it's like, I've never been home. I've never been in the same house as my wife for more than like 3 months at a time. Wow. And it's like, how do we have a relationship, and how do we, like, it's hard, and all these new things were coming up. So I think that's where I was. And then now I'm getting into that, routine again, where it's like, okay, I'm happy being home. I used to be like, if I wasn't on tour, then things weren't going well, know? And so now I think there was that thing in the back of my mind where it's like, I'm failing. And like, as time goes by, the longer time goes by, the more I'm failing, the more I'm falling back. And it's like, that's not necessarily true.
Bro, that daily sweat, man, in the morning for me, whether you're walking or just go to the gym or something like that, that does a lot. Yeah. Like, I feel like my most creative juices come out, but also like it gets you right. Like, mentally.
Exercising is so fucking important to me now. Yeah. Like, I've been on a very good routine the past like 6-7 months, and like
eating right, all that.
Yeah,
shit,
eating right and exercising is such a game changer. I really feel like before people ever get put on antidepressants, those things should be put in check first.
100%. Before, now we're in the society.
Sadly, it's just like, dude, there are so many people that would not be taking pills if they would just exercise and eat right.
Dude, it is.
And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that some people might not need antidepressants. I'm not saying like.
But that's our society.
But I'm saying the baseline should be, hey, let me see what you're eating. How much are you drinking alcohol? And how much are you exercising? Like, 100%. Let's figure. I want to see those first, and then like if you get that in the clear,
because once you feel good mentally, physically, it can be that simple of just breaking a little sweat or going for a walk or like listen to a pod in the morning or something. Have some type of routine. But I agree 100%. It's just like we're in that like Tylenol like
it's
society
crazy, bro.
Of like I'm gonna pop something in order to like have to.
I was raised like that. Like I was on like medication as a young kid and stuff, and it's just like it's kind of scary just how that goes. But yeah, I mean, like I don't think like just exercise is like a cure, but it's like 100%. It's one of my pieces that is like one of the things that has helped me, and like finding new hobbies that have nothing to do with music. Where like I've gotten really into fly fishing and stuff, and so that's like another thing that like brings me a lot of joy, and I also feel like I can like think clearly while I'm doing it. About like any issue that comes up, like me just being on my own walking in the forest or just like canals or whatever I'm doing. It's like that is like my clear time to like assess like all the stuff that causes me stress, and also giving myself an outlet, because before I didn't really do anything, so it's just I had all this stuff going and I'm just like it would like
that's a good point. I mean, it's not one size fits all. Whatever the hell makes you happy, you go all in on that. And having that separation from work, life, whatever, that like whether it's reading a book or a pod or exercising.
What is that like for you right now? What's your kind of like, because I feel like you're obsessed with what you do.
I am,
and I'm in the same boat. Like I have to be able to turn it off though, and I've been getting better about like deciding to take days off or like put it on the calendar, like because I can easily sit in the studio for 12 hours.
And like I think
but it's not good for me to do that for too long. Because then I get burnt out, and there's like
for me, I think, and everyone's balance is different. I even just made a post about this like last week of just like my happy place is work, but like still like knowing that like say Sundays is my day to try to not to do anything related to work, and like, that's what I need. I'm gonna
be with friends.
I'm gonna watch documentaries or like whatever the hell makes me happy, or like if I again kind of referring back to if I work Saturday, I feel like okay, I've done everything I physically can in a week. I'm gonna go to a Suns game, or I'm go dinner and drinks, and I'm disconnect, and I like feel like okay, I'm good. I've done everything I can. So that's for me, man. If I can, I wish I could travel more, but I get super inspired and creative when I could even just go away for a weekend. That's kind of my type of travel is like Saturday, come back Monday, because I will have too much anxiety or stress of being gone for longer. And I hope to, as much as I'm sacrificing and work my ass off, and our team is to get to that point where I can do more of that, have more balance. But like my balance is a lot with work, because I'm that fills my cup, right? Like, and being, it just can't be all 6 days, 7 days at the office. Like I need to have that balance of like being in the community and meeting people and connecting with our partners and all that kind of stuff, and hearing that, like knowing like everything we're doing is paying off.
Absolutely, man. Dude, I just want to say thank you for coming on this. I think,
dude, you inspire me. It was really inspiring to hear your story, and I want to pick your brain after this for a second, because I feel like there's some books you've read I need to read.
Dude, I don't read for shit.
Really?
I get like, I will like go this direction. I start thinking about this, but like have you ever heard of the Headway app?
I know you can send me some game. There's no way that
but like,
can't.
so I've really got turned on the Headway app. It's essentially audio books, but it's just like executive summaries. Like,
Sick.
so I try every day.
Cool.
Usually it's every other day, 10 to 15 minutes of reading these books where like, fuck, I needed to hear that. I need to hear. And that's kind of another part that like gets me, you know, fired up every day when I have a rough day where I'm like having self-doubt. And then I'm like, oh, dude, like that's cool, you know, but I just can't read books and sit there and chill because I'm just gonna be like, oh, this thing, you know, this shiny object is appearing in my brain.
Yeah, that's like, kind of how it is for me too. I'll read a chapter that inspires me, and then I'll like go off.
Dude, my wife goes crazy. We were at like a spa last week, and I was like sitting down. I was just like, I can't like just relax and do nothing. I gotta like have something
stimulating you.
Like,
yeah.
So
where'd you guys go?
Like,
what spa did you guys go
to? Biltmore.
Okay,
we go there a lot.
Yeah.
Not the spa necessarily. I hang. I like
spa day.
Yeah, I like we'll book rooms there and just like hang out for a weekend or something. But yeah, man, I think that we should probably wrap this one up. I'd love to have you back sometime. I'd love to hang out sometime. Like this was really fun episode.
And now we have a new friend for if we need to do some collab stuff for Katastro in the future.
Yeah, dude, I would love to build on the relationship and to become friends. And if we do business together, great. If not, who cares?
It's okay.
Like,
but yeah, dude, that was awesome.
No, thank you guys.
Yeah. Stay 48, man.
Appreciate it.